Hi students, in today's class we will be starting with third module. So we have been discussing about our fundamental data types. Those are character, integers, float and double data types, right? So even though these types are very useful, they have some limitation. The limitation is they can store only one value at a given time, correct? So for example, if you declare any variable as int, for example int a, so the variable a can hold only one integer value at a time. It cannot hold multiple integer values, right? So it can hold only one integer value. So if we want to have, like if you want some variable to have multiple data value, then how to do that? Because in some situations or maybe in some applications, it is required to handle a large volume of data in terms of reading or processing or maybe printing. So to process such a large amount of data, we need a powerful data type. That's why we are introducing a derived data type, which is also known as arrays. So instead of using integer, character, float or double, that is fundamental data types, we are going to use a derived data type. Let's see what is an array. Array is defined as a fixed size ordered collection of elements of the same data type. Please observe the definition. It is fixed size ordered collection of elements of the same data type. The data type should be same. We cannot mix integer values with floating values. So all integer values like 0 to 10, it is a collection of integer values. So from 0 to 10 we can call it as an array of 10 elements, or sorry, maybe 11 elements, because including 0, right? So array of 11 elements, same data type stored in contiguous memory location. This is very important. The memory location should be contiguous, one after the other. Okay, so it is also called as one of the data structures in C. Because of its nature, it is also called as one of the data structures in C. So that is nothing but grouping of like data type. What is like data type? Similar data types. Again, that we have already discussed. So we cannot mix up two different data types. We cannot call them as array. So it is an ordered collection. What is an ordered? So each element is given some order. Like as I already told, from 0 to 10 there are 11 elements, correct? So those 0 to 10 elements are properly arranged. We cannot arrange 0 and then 10 1 randomly. They are ordered collection. So their memory location is fixed. Okay. So each data item of an array is called an element. That is, in array of 11 elements, 11 integer elements, 0 is an element, 1 is an different element, 2 is separate element. So each data item or each data value is called an element of the array. And these elements are associated with a separate number. So each of these numbers will be having some number which is called subscript or index. So from 0 to 10, each element will be associated with some number. So if we want to access those elements, we need to use that separate number, which is known as subscript or index. So these numbers, that is subscript or index, always starts from 0. It always starts with 0. Okay. then it is used to store more than one value. Yeah, the use of array is it can store more than one values, whereas our fundamental data types, those integers, float and doubles, they could not store more than one values, correct? But our array, that is also called derived data type. Okay. Yeah. Some of the example where an array can be used are list of employees in an organization. So these employees in an organization will form a similar kind of elements, correct? So all employees working under one organization will become an array of employees, correct? So in order to list employees in an organization, we can use arrays, or maybe list of class of students, correct? And also list of temperatures recorded for every hour or for every month or year. So any similar data values can be represented using arrays. And these arrays are divided into three different types: one dimensional arrays, two dimensional arrays and multi-dimensional arrays. So in today's lecture we are going to study one dimensional array. Let's see what is an one dimensional array. So one dimensional arrays are defined as list of items that can be given one variable name using only one subscript. So they are nothing but only one variable name using one subscript. I'll tell you what is subscript, okay? So it will have only one subscript with one variable name. Please understand, it is one dimensional, that is 1D array. Okay. For example, if you want to represent a set of 5 numbers, for example, there are 5 numbers, say 35, 40, 20, 57 and 19. Some random numbers are given. Okay. So we want to store these 5 numbers in some memory location. Okay. As we can see, all these values are of same data type, right? All are integer data types. If we had one floating values also, then we could not have used arrays, correct? But here all data types of all values are same, that is integer data type. So we can use array to represent all these numbers, correct? So these 5 numbers can be represented by an array variable n. Let's give one variable name for all of these values. Okay, let's use only one variable name because it is 1D array. So we can declare this variable like this. See the syntax. Since all the numbers are of integer type, we are going to use data type as int. It is normal declaration of variables. How we used to declare integer, float, same way. Int, variable name is n. The only difference is we are going to use, or we are going to represent the size of the array. So here 5 represents size of the array. What is the total size of the array that can hold, or what is the total number of elements an array can hold? So n is an array of integer data types. Please observe, n is variable n is an array of integer data type because we have declared it as int, integer data type, which can hold up to 5 elements. So it can hold only 5 elements. If you try to put one more element, so if you try to put 6 elements, it is not possible because you have given the size as 5. So if we want to represent, or if we want to store these values in the memory location, then we have to declare one variable which is of array. It should be an array of integers, because all these values are integer data types, right? Yeah. So we are going to declare this variable as int n, int space n, then inside the square bracket we are going to specify the size of the array. Here the size is 5 because we are going to store only 5 numbers. Okay. Yeah. Let's see how these will be represented in memory. So this is the memory representation of these elements. So see, n of 0, n of 1, n of 2. What is this n of 0? This 0 is called subscript or index. 0, 1 inside the square bracket, n of 2, n of 3, n of 4. So n of 0 indicates it is the first element, n of 1 indicates it is the second element, n of 2 third element, n of 3 fourth element, n of 4 fifth element. Understanding? So each element will be represented by using their subscript. So n of 0, whenever I say n of 0, it is first element, that is 35. So initialization can be done like this. N of 0 is equal to 35. So we have to individually initialize each element by assigning the particular values. So we are going to assign 35 to n of 0. So first element will be initialized to 35. N of 1 is initialized with 40, n of 2 20, n of 3 57, n of 4 19. So these values will be stored in the memory like this. So in the first location 35 is stored, in the second location 40 is stored, in the third location 20, fourth 57, fifth 19. So always remember this subscript will be, the last subscript will be one less than the size of the array. So if we declare a size as 6, then the last subscript will be 5, n of 5. So here we have used the size as 5, that's why the last subscript will be 4, because we are starting the subscript with 0. Always remember this, array always starts with 0, 0th subscript. Don't get confused with this subscript and value. Okay. So subscript cannot be used individually, it should be always used with variable name. N is the variable name here, which is an array of integer, right? So subscript should be always used with what? Array variable name. Okay. And so this assignment will be stored in the memory in this way. So n of 0, the first location is the n of 0, and second, the first location is n of 0, n of 1, n of 2, n of 3 and n of 4. So this is the contiguous memory location. So if we say, or okay, I'll show here only 35, 40, 20. So this is not the proper representation because it is not contiguous. The array elements will always be stored in contiguous memory locations. So there is no gap between 35 and 40. You should not leave any memory space in between the two elements. They are contiguous. Is that clear? So in tomorrow's class, we are going to see how 1D arrays will be declared. Okay, and also we will be seeing, or we will be studying one more example of 1D arrays. Okay. Yeah, thank you.